Greetings, Game Master Player here with another car vlog. Now, it's funny that, the funny thing that happened, I recorded part of this already, and I'm not going to use any of it now because I don't know where it cut out at. So I'm going to start all over again. So, as some of you may see, I've got a Band-Aid on top of my head. I scratched my head, and unfortunately, it's, it's a head wound. So it sits and bleeds whenever it wants to, and no, when it does bleed, it bleeds a lot because that's what head wounds do. So I gotta put a Band-Aid on it, and I want to make sure it doesn't scab over real bad and all this other stuff. It's just gotta take extra care when it's a head thing. So, but luckily I don't have hair, so I can put a nice Band-Aid on there and not have to worry about it's like, oh, I gotta shave part of my head or my hair, whatever. No, I just Band-Aid, just like. I've got more hair on my arms and my legs than I do on the top of my head, so I loathe putting Band-Aids on my arms and stuff. I don't have to worry about it on my head. Again, the little things that are advantage when you're bald. So that's great. I do really like that. But I caught myself saying more ums, which I've been trying. That's a habit I've been trying to break, and I thought I've been doing a pretty good job, and I've been not paying attention to how I talk, so I've been slipping a little bit on that. I know I say so a lot and but it's one at a time. Okay, help me out here. Give me a break. One at a time. Let's see what I can do. I need to start. Unfortunately, I slacked a little bit on my exercise. It's starting to show a little bit. Don't like that. What happened is that after Gen Con. Okay, let's go back a little bit. I hurt my back at Gen Con. If I didn't tell everybody that already, which I think I did, I hurt my back at Gen Con, and so half the exercises I was doing really was a problem. So I let things go for a week, not a problem. Gen Con was a lot of walking, so I didn't feel so bad then. I actually lost weight when I went to Gen Con, and then afterwards, I had a lot of junk food left over and some other bad eating habits, so I finished that up. And I didn't exercise. I didn't get to walk as much, and I put on a little bit of fat. And then I tried exercising again, and my back still hurt. So here we are on this final week, which I started exercising this week, but it's been piecemeal because also after Gen Con I changed my sleep schedule. And the reason I changed my sleep schedule is because since I didn't have caffeine, which I think I said this in the last video or another video. Since I didn't have caffeine at Gen Con, I trained my body to wake up at a particular time and kind of go to sleep at a particular time. Now, see, I was able to do that because I used to work swing shift. So, I could wake up, I can work midnight shift, I can work afternoon shift, I can work day shift. So, I could train my body to sleep at different times, and my body would catch on to it. So, unfortunately, I had to undo that. So I changed my sleep schedule to try to maximize my sleep. Well, now I don't have time to get my exercises done in the morning, and I'm staying up too late still. So what I'm doing now is I changed my wake-up time, my alarm in the morning, which is going to be advantageous for me. So I'm waking up earlier, which is nice because that gives me plenty of time to do exercises. Unfortunately, I started it this week because I tried to exercise this week and I got some in, but it's been haphazard because I just don't have enough time in the morning to get it all done. So what I had to do is I had to, change some habits. Okay, no big deal, really. So I'm going to be waking up earlier again, so I have time to exercise, and it's just going to be one of those things that it's going to take time. I'll get back on schedule next week. I'll get back in the big swing of things after that, and hopefully get back down to my trim self a little bit because I had to go down a notch in my belt. Not happy about that. See, up a notch on my belt. Let's put it that way. Back up. So that makes me a little bit upset, and I can feel it anyway, and I can see it. So I want to get rid of it again. So I got to work on that, and I know I got to work on that. So I've got some training to do, some exercise to do. My eating habits, I guess, because I think it's because I've got Mountain Dew left over and stuff like that from convention, and I need to stop drinking entirely, but it's caffeine, and I've been needing the caffeine hits because I've been so tired, and it's a vicious cycle. And I've been snacking more, and I need to stop that too. So that's my goal, is to cut down on the snacking, go back to cutting down on the snacking, and cut back down on having things like Mountain Dew and stuff like that. So I've been doing pretty good. It's just not as good as I should be. So now it's turning back into, let's get back in the swing of things, and I can do it. You can do it too. If you're working on it, you can do it. So we're human. We make mistakes. Unless you happen to be like a dog or something watching me, then you're not human and you're a dog. So you do things differently because you're a dog. Or cat, whatever. Well, maybe pets are watching my videos. I don't know. Maybe my voice helps pets through the day, and that's fantastic. And if that's the case, maybe I should change what I'm recording. Please tell me. Anyway, it said again. See, I've been slacking a little bit on that. But anyway, I need to get back in the habit, back on the swing of things, and it'll be fine. It'll be totally fine. I just need to get back to my normal routine. And long convention stuff always breaks routine. So if I can get back in my regular schedule, my regular routine, that'll be good. I have a friend that's been a good motivating factor. Unfortunately, I have not been able to talk to my friend. I have not been able to talk to my friend as often as I wanted to. So that motivation isn't as there as it used to be. So I gotta motivate myself to do it. And then if I can, get some of my other friends doing it too, because then I have a bigger support group, I guess is a nice way to put it. I have a bigger group of individuals that we're all working towards the same goal, which is not to, be super skinny or be, a particular weight. It's basically to cut down on size. So I don't want to be fat. I don't want to be, or let's put it this way, I don't want to be as fat. I don't want to be as overweight. I don't want to be as jiggly, whatever you might want to call it. I want to slim down a little bit. I don't care how heavy I am or how light I might be. I care on how my pants fit and how my shirts fit and what sizes I need to wear. That's what I care about at this point. At my stage in life, it's about, just coming out of nowhere on that one. In my stage in life, it's about how I feel, yes, and it is part of it about how I look, yes, but it's also part of the process is also how I gotta cut down on the body fat. So if I keep going the way I was going, it would have been straight to diabetes and all that other stuff, because that's a family issue and trait, and I don't want that to happen. It's happened to my dad. It happened to my stepdad, and it's one of those things that I can control it if I just take care of myself early on and control it. So it's pick up good habits now, so I don't have to worry about having to fight it later in life. So one of the things that I'm happy I don't do is I don't drink a lot, because that would have been a bad habit to get into, and that would be bad for me too. So luckily I don't have to worry about that. Luckily. But I would really like to trim down a little bit more. I would really like to I was in a 2X. I'm now in a large. This shirt's actually too big. But because I'm going into a cold room, I have to wear something a little bit heavier, and this happens to be a nice heavier polo. It's a little bit too warm still to carry a jacket. Otherwise, when it starts getting cooler, I'll just carry a jacket with me, or I'll wear sleeves that day, whichever it might be. But I'm just trying to. I want a large to be as loose as almost as loose as this shirt is. Not quite this loose, but getting there. I want a large to be like that. I want a medium to be tight. That's where I want to be. Where right now, large is still kind of tight. So I've got some large t-shirts. Most of my t-shirts are extra large. I got some large t-shirts, and I put them on knowing that they're tight, and then that also motivates me to, okay, gotta slim down. And I think pretty soon here on my regular Loot Crate that I do, I think I'm going to change it to a large. So that's going to force me to also, I'm getting a t-shirt from Loot Crate, and I need to start, trimming it down. but extra large also gives me more flexibility to hand them off to my friends. And so, you know, it's here or there, half dozen one way to another, whatever it might be. Oh, I did it again. I said, ow. See, I got into bad habits. I should just start swearing instead, right? But I hope everyone's having a great time. I hope you're having a good day. I hope this helps you make it through your day. You know, if you can learn any little bit from my mistakes in life and my revelations, I don't want to really call it revelations, but my realizations in life, that would be fantastic. So, I've put on weight. I've been heavier. I've taken it off. I'm trying to feel better. I'm trying to stay positive. And there's a lot of things, and life works against you with stress, with job issues, personal issues, you name it, family issues. There's just no easy way to make it through the day every day without something negative just impacting you one way or another. It's if I could have a stress-free job and friends that are good for me and family that's not going to cause me any grief or issues, and which isn't going to happen for a long time, but it's just something that I need to work on. I need to work on a little bit more. I need to work on little issues like that. So, and I can find ways to lower my stress at work, and I am currently trying to do my best at that. And also ultimately, if it becomes too much of a hassle, then it's time for me to find a new job, right? I can fix it, and that's what I need to do. I need to fix it one way or another. So if I can't make my current career path or job work for what I need in life, then obviously I need to make changes. I either need to make changes at work, or I need to make changes at work, or change work. So change my place of work, my place of employment. People do that all the time. I guess they do. I guess they do it all the time, but really, it's you should. It's an assessment. It's a life assessment. I have to do assessments for my customers, and I'm applying that process to myself and my life. It's like, am I making enough money? Do I have enough free time? How's my stress level? What can I do to fix one of those or any of those? And it's going through that process. Again, it's about, what my term is for work is total cost of ownership. What are all my costs and what are my payouts on it? And if my costs are high, are my payouts equally high? If not, if my payouts are low, then I got to find a way to lower my costs so I can have a better payout. So it's that process that I'm applying to life. I applied it to my friends, and again, it was also negative, positive, and stuff like that. I applied it to friends. And what am I getting out of the friendship? Is it truly a friendship? Is it just, am I being used instead by this person? Am I just a, whatever? It's an assessment on my life, and it's hard to do. You've got toxic people in your life in a lot of places, and it takes a lot of effort to get rid of them. It really does. And some of them you really can't get rid of. You can only mute for periods of time, or you have to learn different ways to function around their levels of toxicity. So, for example, I'll use my brother as an example. My brother and I used to get along real well. We've since kind of separated on that level, and now I call him just to make sure he's alive, because he doesn't talk to anybody else in the family that I know of, and nobody knows what's going on with him, and I just want to call, make sure see how he's doing from time to time. But really, he doesn't bring anything to the table for me anymore. He doesn't bring. There's no sense of brotherhood there. There's no sense. He's just not there for me as family. And it got to the point where he'd only call me and talk to me when he wanted something or needed something, and that's not good either. So and he causes stress with the family because of this. And honestly, I don't need him in my life, but he's my brother. He's my brother. I'm going to recognize that he's my brother, and that he obviously needs help. Otherwise, he would be calling and life would be fantastic, but he's got his own troubles and hardships. I know that. We all do. But I don't need him around to bring me down. And that's the thing. I'm going to focus on that part of I don't need him in my life if he's going to do nothing but be negative and not be helpful to me in any way, shape, or form. Like I said, he's not even bringing brotherhood to the table anymore. He's a very selfish individual at this point, and he's also a very proud individual for no reason, and he needs to do an assessment on his life and what he can do to fix it, and what he can do to make changes, and he can get rid of toxic people, and he can get rid of all these things he needs to do too. But I can't make him do any of that. I can only make suggestions. I can only try to help him so far. But I did again, he's my brother. I did what I could. But there's only so many times I can say, hey, I'm helping you try to find a job. Hey, I'm trying to help you find a job. Hey, there's this job. Hey, there's, what? Forget it. You're not even applying or trying. I'm done. I can't help you anymore. It's just, you get frustrated by it, and you just have to stop. Otherwise, his negativity was going to bring me down, and I don't want that anymore. So, I call every 2-3 months, see how he's doing, making sure he's alive, because he's my brother. Make sure he's not dead. And, if I figured if he doesn't answer after a while, then, after a few phone calls for a few different days, a few different times, he's probably dead, and I gotta go track him down then. Which is unfortunate, because that sucks if I have to do that. But, hey, whatever. But you know what? I cut him out of my life on a primary function because he's not helping ever at this point. He's not helping. He's very negative. He's very, he's very selfish. He's not helping in my happiness. He's he's helping in my depression, despair, whatever. He's just adding more to that, and then he's of course topping off that my depression, my life is worse or whatever. And I don't want to be part of that anymore. I'm trying to get away from that. I don't want to be focusing on the bad. I want to focus on the good. So what's going on? How are things going? Blah blah blah. And it's all, well, this is terrible. This is terrible. This is terrible. It's like, okay, well, it sucks that everything's terrible. So have a good one, because I try to help him, be better. I try to help him to make changes, and it doesn't happen. So, it's only so much you can do. And instead of me stressing about it, because I'm a worry person, I worry about everything. I can't do it anymore. It's not healthy for me. So, it's unfortunate too. But hey, whatever. So anyway, again, it's hard. You can cut toxic people out of your life. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of time, but it can be done, even if it's family. If you have to do it, you have to do it. You need to be healthy, both physically, mentally, spiritually. It doesn't matter. You have to be healthy. Your soul has to be healthy. Your body has to be healthy. Your mind has to be healthy. And some people can't have all of that because their body is broken or damaged or diseased or whatever it might be. There's people that their minds are broken and diseased, and and so if you can focus on at least making part of your life healthy, and then you don't have to worry about it. So I've got friends that I've had friends in the past as well, but like that are bipolar, have suffered from depression, I've had family that's had health issues, heart problems, you name it. It's like, so if you can't be physically healthy, then focus on being mentally healthy and spiritually healthy. You got to have as much of your existence to be clean and good for you that you can control. If you can't control it, then you also shouldn't worry about it and make the best of what you can control. So, going back all the way back to my weight issue again, I can control that. I do have issues with an insatiable sweet tooth, and I don't want to turn down desserts and sweets and such like that because I really, really like them. Like, really, really like them. So, instead of, and I know this, but I can control my weight. I can control my eating habits. I can control my activity level, and I need to control that, and I'm going to control that. and that's how it works. That's what I'm doing. Now, stuff that's out of my control, like, my hair loss is kind of out of my control. I shouldn't worry about it, right? There's nothing I can do about it. So, my hair's gone. Yay! Suck it up. I don't want to say suck it up really, but it's really suck it up, buttercup. It's how it is. And there's no reason to worry about it, no reason to do anything about it, because you can't. I can wear a hat. That's it. I can wear a hat. Woohoo! That's my fix. That's my patch to the problem. So I get to do that kind of stuff. So, hey, that's how it goes. So, but, again, you do what you gotta do, in life, but really what you need to do is you need to be better. You need to be a better you. You need to work on yourself. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of effort, and it's worth it, because you're worth it. Don't forget that. You are worth it. So, now I'm getting all philosophical and sappy. But really, no, you are. So focus on yourself. Fix yourself if you can. If there's things, because everyone has something broken about themselves that they want to fix. Some people want to fix their love life. Some people want to fix their career. Some people want to fix their hairdo. Whatever. Yeah, I went there. But there's things that people want to fix in their life, and really, there's no reason why you can't. Take the time. You deserve it. Go ahead and do it. So on that note, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of the week. I hope everyone doesn't have any major problems or major issues. And if you do, I hope I can be a voice of reason and guidance and sanity and laughter and whatever I can help out with. I hope I can help out in a little way. So anyway, thank you all, and I will see you in the next car vlog, which will probably be in about a week. Thank you.